The Vision High School Sports Beat is brought to you by the 9 locally owned Vision Automotive Group dealerships from Buick, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Hyundai, Kia, and Nissan, with locations in Webster, Henrietta, Greece, Penfield, Fairport, and Canandaigua. Online at visionauto.com. Hi everyone, and thanks again for joining us for the Vision Automotive Group's High School Sports Beat. I'm Bill Pucko. Every week at this time, we take a comprehensive look at sports in Section 5 in Monroe County. We begin with our honor roll of high school teams. At number 3, Brighton Girls Lacrosse. This is a team that we featured just a week ago. Barons are now 3-0. Sophomore Mackenzie Harris scored 4 goals in a win over Rush Henrietta. At number 2, Victor Boys Lacrosse is 4-0. Blue Devils got 3 goals from Michael DeMarco and 2+2 from Max Lambert in a win over McQuaid. And at number 1, at 5-0, it's that Pittsford boys lacrosse team. Brenton Barker to 5-goal game against Canandaigua and netted 4 against Webster Thomas. His younger brother Cody Barker got 3 in that one. Which brings us to the new class of Section 5 Football Hall of Famers and a visit with Mr. Section 5 himself. There are now 208 members of the Section 5 Football Hall of Fame. 12 new members from the 17th class were inducted last week, including Mike Cherry, who quarterbacked Rush Henrietta Sperry High School to an undefeated season back in 1982.
I had no idea. I was very surprised. I got a letter in the mail, and it said Dick Cerone on it. What am I getting this for? And I opened it up, and like I said, I almost jumped through the roof. It's a very humbling experience, and I appreciate it a lot.
Also among the 12 inductees was Denny Fries, whose name is synonymous with Irondequoit High School football, having served as a coach and administrator for 40 years there.
Winning the sectionals under Rich Kaplan, the changeover to Wade Bianco and the years there, having fellows like John Williams going in this year, Corky Webb, Dan Fichter, who now took over the head coaching job at Irondequoit. Great memories.
Football has seen the section fall back a bit, a victim of consolidation and numbers.
Instead of having varsity, JV, and freshmen, it's now varsity. Some teams aren't having JV and they're going to the modified A program, which is 7, 8, and 9. So that's sort of coming around, and that's kind of telling me that we're losing numbers along the way. And it's the concussion issue, I think. I think parents aren't letting their kids play.
Dick Cerone has been the face of Section 5 and New York State football for 40 years. He will give up the state chairmanship after next year in an attempt to remain a consultant. The season just passed was a trying one for Cerone, who felt demonized by Aquinas during the Jake Zemback ineligibility case, which wound up in court. Zemback was ruled ineligible to play, and an Aquinas playoff victory over Pittsford forfeited. Cerone's actions were called into question by the school where he once served as athletic director. Dick was cleared of any wrongdoing, but the matter, he says, was clearly the most difficult time of his tenure. But there have been good times, too, many of them. The former West High guard, Cerone is one of 16 charter members of the Hall, the first and only of its kind in the state, and the founder of both the Eddie Meath All-Star Game and the state playoff system. He is Section 5 football.
I have 2 people that I emulated, Barney Smith, who is, and Roger Bunce. And I just said this the other day, that I wish they were around to see what we've accomplished in the 30 or the 40 years that I've been doing this, because I think we've come a long way, and I feel good about that, it's just something, I played it, I administrated it, and I'm still involved with it. It's been a big part of my life.
When we return, a national caliber sports star that you probably haven't heard of, when the Vision Automotive Group's high school sports beat continues. Welcome back to the Vision Automotive Group's high school sports beat. I'm Bill Pucko. Let's take a look now at our honor roll of high school athletes. At number 3 this week, we have Michael Ryan of the Pittsford-Sutherland baseball team, who had a 4-hit game against Greece Olympia, 2 doubles and a home run among them, helping coach Jim Capilupo to his 200th career win. At number 2, Lindsay Gamer, a name that works. She plays for the 2-1 Penfield girls lacrosse team and had a 4-goal game against Canandaigua. And at number 1, the HFL girls lacrosse team is off to a 2-0 start. Brittany Chamberlain and Caitlin Muir each scored 4 goals against Webster Schrader. Which brings us to the baseball diamond outside the Harley School for the story of the gifted girl. When you think about Rochester athletes playing on the national stage, the names Abby Wambach, Thomas Bryant, David Ferentz, and Morgan Shield come to mind. You probably don't consider Eliza Demers of the Harley School. Perhaps you should.
She was invited by the United States Baseball Association on the women's side to try out for the national team. And she's the youngest player involved in the tryouts, and very much a long shot to make it, but at the same time on the radar for years down the road.
I think most people would be surprised that there is such a team.
Yes, I would agree with you, and they take it very seriously. If you go on the website and check out some of the coaches and what they've done, I believe the gentleman is an ex-pro who's the coach, and his assistants have very good resumes as well, and it's serious stuff. I mean, they play probably eight different teams from around the world, and very, very good players.
Demers is an infielder and a pitcher for the Harley-Allendale Columbia Wolves baseball team. A year ago, we told her story as an oddity, a female winning a job on a boys' team. But it has grown into far more than that. Eliza is one of the top players on a team that won its first 3 games. She scored 6 runs and stole 4 bases over those 3, and pitched 4 innings, picking up a win over Edison. And she is just a sophomore.
Pitching, hitting. I mean, I always have to do everything better. I'm always working on stuff, so I don't think I'll ever be at a point where I can say I'm at my max. So I'm always going to work.
That's good. Is there one thing in particular this year that you said, by the end of the season, I'd like to be able to do this?
Pitch a full game, complete game, and hopefully a win. So that'd be nice.
She gives us an arm that goes out and could throw 4, 5, 6 innings, probably each time out, with limited walks, and we just got to make the plays behind her to be successful.
When you look into the future and you see this invitation and you kind of think about where the team might be in a couple years, what do you see yourself there?
Hopefully I make it as a pitcher or third baseman or outfield, but I don't know. Right now it looks like they might need some pitching, so I'm working on that.
Softball is not a consideration for Demers, especially now that she has attracted national attention on the baseball diamond. She prefers playing on the bigger field, the bigger stage.
She's been to different camps and invitations for Northeast and stuff like that. She got to play last year in a big all-star tournament out in California. And she just kind of keeps raising her level. And the great thing is she's still Eliza. She's just a nice, quiet young lady who is very competitive and gives her best every time she's out there.
Serving 2 masters, as it were, creates conflicts. The high school team gets the short end of that deal.
Well, our season, it happens at sectionals, is the same weekend that I go to the trials, so I'll be missing sectionals for the trials.
Does Peter know this?
Yeah, he does. I don't think he was too happy, but what can you do?
Good job.
Making the Grade with Kim is next. Later on, it's off to Churchville, where they were running for Daniel, when the Vision Automotive Group's high school sports beat continues.
Welcome back to the Vision Automotive High School Sports Beat. I'm Kim Burnson. It's time now for our Making the Grade segment, where we honor high school athletes for their performance both on and off the playing field. This week we turn to Hilton to honor Austin Metzger for making the grade. Captain of 2 varsity teams in his senior year, Austin knows what it means to be a leader. He's currently a shortstop and pitcher for varsity baseball and was named co-MVP of his high school's basketball team in the winter. He's also learned to share the spotlight on the field with his 2 brothers. You see, one of Austin's teammates also happens to be his twin brother, who's played basketball with him growing up. And this spring, another Metzger joins him on the field, this time his younger brother, who also plays varsity baseball. Before preparing for practice every day, Austin makes sure he first attends to his schoolwork. As a National Honor Society member, he has his hand in various after-school activities, and his involvement in International Club allows him to run different fundraisers throughout the school year. Outside the classroom, Austin's volunteer work keeps him involved in his church and community. He helps teach elementary school kids in Bible school and also spends time at St. Anne's Nursing Home coordinating activities. In the fall, Austin lends a hand in a well-known Hilton staple, the Apple Fest, where he's worked every year. For the role he plays in his community and leadership on the field, this week Austin Metzger is making the grade. If you have an idea for our Making the Grade segment, we want to hear from you. You can contact us at info@classywolf.com with your nominations. Now here's Bill with a look at our Section 5 calendar.
On Monday, they'll play for the Grease Cup. Boys high school golf at Ridgemont, Athena, Arcadia, Olympia, and Odyssey, playing for Grease Town bragging rights. Tee-offs at 3 o'clock. Also on Monday, we'll get an idea of how well Brockport plays softball without injured pitching ace Julia DiMartino, one of the best we've ever seen, who will miss her senior year injured. Blue Devils host Webster Schrader, first pitch at 4:30. We don't often pay too much attention to dual track meets, but this one brings together 2 pretty good teams. Penfield is at Rush Henrietta, boys and girls, Tuesday at 4:30. Boys across on Tuesday, check out that nationally ranked Pittsburgh Panther team playing at Fairport. And come Saturday, the big track and field invitational is hosted by Webster Thomas. 17 schools take part beginning at 11 o'clock, some of what the section has in store this week. Coming up, a community event and a living memorial, all wrapped up into one. We head to Churchville next, when the Vision Automotive Group's high school sports beat continues. Welcome back to the Vision Automotive Group's high school sports beat. I'm Bill Pucko. Making the most of a bad situation. We do it all the time. They've been doing it for 10 years out in Churchville. There is nothing so tragic as the death of a child. These people, this gathering of over 500 runners and volunteers on a cold April morning, paid tribute to Daniel Myslivecek.
He was our firstborn, and he developed metastatic melanoma at age 14. And we basically stopped our lives because the doctor said that your son is going to die of this disease. So we basically gave up everything we had, and we just spent the rest of the next 2 years making memories with our son.
I've been friends with Daniel for a long time, and I also played soccer with him. That's where I knew him most. And we'd been doing a lot of when he got ill, we'd been doing a lot of fundraisers that would kind of like pick up money, at a time, like $500,000. And I was like, me and my dad were like, why don't we do a 5K for him? So that's when the idea came about. So me and him and another coworker of his, Joe McMahon, we all met one night and we kind of discussed it. And then this is where Daniel's 5K was born in 2006.
It's grown pretty well, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, I know. Every year it seems like more and more people come out, and it really warms my heart how much this race has grown over the last 10 years.
Daniel died in 2006, shortly after actually taking part in the first of these benefit races. This year's was the 10th annual, with a goal of raising $25,000 for the Golisano Children's Hospital.
Daniel was one of my best friends growing up, and I like being here, seeing his family, seeing all the support and the awareness that we're bringing out for melanoma. So hopefully nobody else has to go through something like we went through.
I am going to run. I am going to try to uphold my son's best time at 31 minutes, 53 seconds, and my goal is 30 minutes. I want to try to run this 5K in 30 minutes, which is just under a 10-minute mile, which is pretty hard for a 47-year-old man that's not in good shape.
Well, I'm not really racing. What I'm doing, I power walk, and they don't have a class for me. This class is just for runners. And so I'll just try to improve my time as a power walker.
Well, then you're going to win, right?
Well, that's right. I win by attrition. See, I'm 71, so there's not a lot of guys in my age group.
3, 2, go!
Dean Myslivecek is the track coach at Gates-Chili High School. His kids attended Churchville-Chili. Finding support from among those two school groups is easy. Almost every spring sport from each was represented here.
We were just debating on whether if we wanted to do it as a team or like individuals, but our team split up when we did it, but we just did it to have fun in a team bonding activity.
Cool. And did Dean have something to do with this? I mean, you knew the cause and it just seemed like a nice thing to do?
Yeah, because he had invited all the sports teams from our school to come and do it, so our lacrosse team decided it would be a good idea to come and support him.
Sponsorship is generous. Daniel's 5K has become very much a community event.
My husband runs all the time. He's a marathon runner, so I'm just trying to get off the sidelines and get into it a little bit, I guess.
And anytime you can run for a cause is kind of a plus, isn't it?
Big, and of course we're, our kids go to this school, so it's big for us. We're big into the running community, so I actually help sponsor the race, and of course, whenever I can, I run in it. I run in it about 5 times out of the 10 years.
The 5-kilometer course was laid out around Churchville Middle School and finished with a double loop around the track. Kip Tissia, a local runner of some renown, he won the Johnny's Running of the Green 5K on St. Patrick's Day, was the first to cross the finish line. You like cold weather racing?
Not really, but I didn't have any option today, so I just came out here and have fun.
Is it nice to race for a cause?
Yes. It's beautiful that these people put up this race in order to honor the Daniels and stuff like that. It's very beautiful.
There were other top finishers with ulterior motives.
I was 40 seconds faster than last year, and I enjoyed it. It was fun.
Nice. And then you pick up the sign, right?
Yeah. So that was the plan all along. I wanted to do like a promposal, they call it, and I figured we're both runners. It would be the perfect spot. So it was fun.
Well, okay. Were you impressed by the gallantry here?
Of course. I knew he had something special planned, so I was really excited to see what it was going to be.
It was a day of fun, joy, and remembrance. A touching tribute that 10 years later continues to grow.
It's pretty amazing to see all of his friends grow up and see him live on. It's nice to be able to see everybody every year and to have this and to have the school remember him. It's really an honor to be able to have this school remember him so deeply and so kindly, I guess.
He was a man with wisdom way beyond his years, and he was very aggressive. He worked hard at everything that he did, and he just a one event. It's almost like the Lord knew his life was going to be short, so he lived a lot of life in just a few years, and really made an impact on a lot of people in just a short time.
Nice job out there in Churchville.
Thanks to our sponsors at the Vision Automotive Group. They make the Sports Beat possible.
As to you, thanks again for watching. We'll see you next week.